All right. We are back. Welcome back to Black Bear News. Please remember to like the video and make sure that you are still subscribed. Hello, all. There are people in the chat. All the good people, where you at? The dude, what's up? Mr. Swap Meat 1, what's up? Is that all we got right here? CB Unglesby, hello. Let us hope and pray for, non-interruption for the non-videoists interruptus tonight. Live streamists interruptus. Where do I start? It's a crazy, crazy day. It's yet another crazy day in the news. It's yet another crazy day in the world of coronavirus. I myself personally cannot keep up with all that is happening, although I'm making a serious attempt to. I wish that I could spend, the better part of my day doing these videos or just researching the news. I do not have that luxury at the time in my life. I do my best. Mr. Swap Meat 1 says, I'm drinking beer for the end of the world. Cheers. It's Philip, how you doing? Cheers. Gray Silverback, how do you do? Yeah, where to start? So everybody's coming in. Maru, Bernie lost. Well, he lost Mississippi and Missouri pretty handily. He's looking about like he lost Michigan too, which is not good for Bernie. Gotta say that's not a good sign. Although he's gonna keep about even in Michigan. I have a feeling he's gonna. Right now he's got 34 delegates. Biden's got 51. So the other states that he lost are, let me see, Missouri has 68, Mississippi has 36. He's got some delegates in Missouri. He may get some delegates in Mississippi. We'll see how the rest of the night goes. Although it's not looking good for Bernie tonight, for sure. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that. The dude says America is dumb, and there you go. So, as Joe Biden is winning these states, he seems to be losing his composure or losing his ability to keep himself together. So, yeah, I mean, he lost it with a UAW worker today. Told him he was full of shit. So, very, very presidential, very calm and cool. Yeah, Maru Telez, we need to unify the people. Biden is not unifying the people. He's unifying the powers that be. The powers that be are unified for Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Donald Trump and Joe Biden mean that the people that control all the things can continue to control all the things. And that people like you and I, Maru, can continue to get screwed over and stomped on. That's what that means. Mr. Swap Me One, Joe Biden going back to normal is just MAGA, right? True, that was a mad worker. Yeah. I mean, I didn't really, sorry to tell you this right now, Maru. Biden will not. No, he will not. No, he will not. And if he does, even if he does, it doesn't really mean good things for people. But we'll agree to disagree for tonight, Maru. Here's the thing about Joe Biden is that his mental acuity is slipping away day by day. And it's not going to be long before he does something really incredibly weird. So weird and insane that, people are just going to be like, how is this guy running for president? The mainstream news is already telling people that, the idea that Joe Biden has dementia is a Russian-backed conspiracy theory, which is so incredibly crazy because anybody with two eyeballs and two brain cells to rub together can see that he's having problems. He's having cognitive difficulties. Everybody is talking about it, and they're not Russians. They're not Russian backed. They're just American people. So yeah, I know Trump is fairly incoherent, but you know what? Trump is much faster on his feet than Joe. Joe can't Joe can't counterpunch out of a paper bag. He's losing it. Anyways. Jazz Farm, not a chance in hell Biden wins. Not a chance in hell. Environmental Coffee House, how you doing? Oh, for fuck's sake. Exactly, that's how I feel. CB Unglesby, only person to destroy Trump is Trump's stupidity. I agree with that. And I think that Biden will actually take himself out before we even get to November. I just have this overwhelming sense that Biden is just going to just step in a big pile of poop like so badly that people are just going to be like, oh my God, can we, this is just crazy. Trump is on speed. There's been reports. Anyways, we all know what's going on with that. Percent reporting. So let's see what happens with Michigan. Who knows? Things could change. I agree, though, that Trump is incoherent, Maru, as well. But that's a terrible reality to have two elderly, incoherent, kind of questionable on their ideas and certainly questionable on their policies. You have these two guys going up against each other. Like what a predicament. Thank you, Boiled Rope Lamppost, for getting to a story that I was just going to cover. No representation. That doesn't make any sense. Bernie's only behind Biden by like 100 delegates. That's, it's a race to a certain amount of delegates. He needs to drop out now, just like Tulsi had to. I mean, it's very, very different situations. I don't mind Tulsi being in the race. I think it's a good thing. I don't. I think she should hold out for as long as she can. However, being in a presidential race is extremely expensive and, can be very, very high on the CO2 emissions. Anyways, let's get into some stories. Coachella, to just get into this. Come on, Coachella. Where you at? This is from today. So this is breaking news. Coachella 2020 postponed. So they did not cancel it outright. Amid coronavirus fears, they postponed it to October. So that'll be interesting. I don't know what that's going to do for a lot of the people that probably had tickets already. People who are all set to go. But, hopefully everything is, back to normal by October. Or not. Or everything will be completely... even more of a mess by October. Who even knows? Amid fears of the deadly coronavirus, Coachella organizers announced Tuesday that the Indio California Festival will not go on as planned. It's scheduled for 2 weekends next month. April 10th through the 12th, and April 17th through the 19th. The festival was set to be headlined by Rage Against the Machine, Travis Scott, and Frank Ocean. So that's big news. That's pretty big news. I heard also that the military was deployed. All right. Okay, all right. Bernie is in trouble? I don't know. I mean, he's not doing well in the race right now. Sure, but I don't know. But he's in really great health, and he's completely cogent. If you watch his Fox News town hall last night, the man makes nothing but sense. And the crowd was like, yes, Bernie, yes. Everything he said, they were like, yes, please, we want this. I don't know. Look, I mean, believe whatever you want, Maru. I don't know what to tell you. Believe what you want. It's your world. CB Unglesby says Olympics now say they may postpone for a year or two. Holy moly. Is that correct? Biden will melt down like the Arctic. The burn will rise from the ashes like the phoenix. Yes, Guyo Smith. I love it. Thank you. Yes, we may pull victory out of the jaws of defeat yet. So the Olympic torch lighting ceremony in Greece will be closed to the public. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it's going to be postponed or moved. I don't see anything else in here. Where'd you see that? Oh, Wall Street Journal. Oh, USA Today. Okay. Well, there you go. Japanese organizing this. In other news, Italy is now on nationwide lockdown. Late last year, Italy has become Europe's hardest hit country. Italy has imposed unprecedented travel restrictions on its 60 million people to control the deadly coronavirus outbreak in the country. I'm going to sign a decree that can be summarized as follows. I stay at home, Conte said on television, announcing that the entire country would effectively be placed on lockdown from Tuesday. That's today. Travel must be avoided across the entire peninsula unless it is justified by professional reasons, by cases of need, or for health reasons. Wow. The restrictions will run until April 3rd. All schools and universities will immediately close. Series A football matches and all other sporting events are also being suspended. Wow. All ski resorts are out of action. Cinemas, museums, nightclubs, similar venues must remain shut after being ordered to close their doors over the weekend, the decree said. Supermarkets open overnight in Rome and Naples were packed with residents stocking up on food, soap, disinfectant, etc. Does that sound familiar? Anybody else running into more shortages at the supermarket? I am. I did today. Went to Target, completely wiped out of toilet paper. Went to a couple other stores, completely wiped out of toilet paper, except for maybe a few packs. So, the panic is in full swing and it's ramping up. It doesn't seem to be going the other way down. The Pink Barrio says Trump will postpone election. I have a hunch. Who knows at this point? I mean, there was actually supposed to be a town hall in Florida with Biden and Bernie on Thursday, and that was canceled. As far as I know, they're going to still do the debate on the 15th, which is in, where is it? Completely blanked out there. I forgot where they're having it. Is it in Florida? Maybe I mixed it up. Maybe they're doing the debate in Florida. Anyways, that's still on as far as I know. With the fixation on toilet paper, I don't know, Harley. I don't know. Because there's still plenty of food. There's mostly food. What mostly is gone is medicines. All like toiletries, medicines. Pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceutical aisle was wiped out. They were like the vitamins were gone, the powders were gone, like all kinds of stuff was gone at the Target, and so was the toilet paper. But other things, plenty of. Rich Diana, Bernie and Tulsi were both candidates not controlled by the corporatocracy, aka the DNC. Ding, ding, ding. We'll see how this progresses. Does it get worse? Does it get crazier? CB Unglesby says Washington on lockdown in 72 hours. It's that bad, a hunch. Yes, Italy. I was just reading that Italy is on nationwide lockdown. That's, an indication of how seriously some countries are taking this. Zoxalic says, perfect storm of shit hitting the fan in USA now. Yeah. Well, things are getting canceled left and right. I knew that they were going to cancel Coachella because the county, well, I said this yesterday, the Riverside County announced a state of emergency, so I knew it was only a matter of time. Alaric Harrison says Bernie's only hope is if Biden has complete collapse on camera, which is possible after today, right? It's Biden completely falling apart is. Bernie has every reason to stay in this race, every reason. The main one being that Biden is a walking time bomb. And a lot of people are also questioning the entire, the legitimacy of a lot of the vote counts, a lot of what's happening. I know it's hard to go there when your guy is losing and all of a sudden you're like, election rigging. But I don't know, from the very beginning, from Iowa, some funny ass business has been going on, right? So Iowa started out with, their apps malfunctioning and Buttigieg doing all kinds of weird things, before the Iowa caucus and during the Iowa caucus and after the Iowa caucus, and declaring victory, and, the DNC saying they were going to, that was a complete and utter meltdown of the Iowa caucus. Then you have New Hampshire, kind of going off without a hitch, but still, where was Biden in those first three contests? He was almost non-existent. So it's a little strange to me, that Biden was so, finished like fourth or fifth in the first two contests, finished a distant second in Nevada, and then all of a sudden, suddenly he's completely viable, like he's the guy. I don't. Something about that strikes me as completely weird. And Bernie, who the entire month or two before the primary started, was surging and everybody said he was the one to beat, and he was gaining momentum. And after Nevada, the media's heads completely exploded. The entire establishment apparatus was, panicked. And suddenly, one state, everybody drops out one state, and that's supposed to just suddenly make Biden the guy. I just don't believe it. I don't believe the story. But anyways, beyond all of that I just said, I think that Bernie has every reason to stay in. Every reason to stay in and keep going. Biden won't do well in a one-on-one debate. They changed the rules of the debate to make it a sit-down debate and to take questions from the audience and make it easier on Biden. Fielding questions from audience members like, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Okay," is like total softball stuff. Then fielding questions from moderators who are asking, pointed questions, like, and you're going to have to give cogent answers. Whatever. Yeah, Guile Smith, there you go. Wait till Biden screams at a woman or a small child. The fact that Biden called a woman a lying dog-faced pony soldier, like, that's not enough for people to be pissed? That's not enough for people to go, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I question your perception of reality if you think that's perfectly fine. Yeah, so no representation. I agree. Locally, there was nothing close to as many Bernie signs around compared to last time. In fact, there were almost none of anybody. But I heard people say that they voted for Biden or Bernie or him. Actually, all I saw was Bernie signs. I saw one Pete sign, one Warren sign. I didn't see one Biden sign. But, Biden didn't win in California. Biden is a proxy. Exactly. So let's move on to... Okay. Maru, you're not making more of a point by writing in all caps. I'm sorry. It doesn't make your point, like, more together. Yeah, Rich Diana, the DNC got Buttigieg and Klobuchar to drop out and endorse Biden. Completely switched the momentum, which is huge in elections, the mob mentality. I mean, I think that there's a part of that in there, but I think that, Biden was really shaky, looking really shaky before South Carolina. Wow, Maru, so you just showed your hand. You're a racist and an anti-Semite? Good job, Maru. Yeah, that's awesome. As in not fucking awesome. Yeah, and I wonder about people who really hate Bernie being just like super anti-Semitic. Whatever. Deacon, I wonder what the Dems are going to do when Biden loses every state in the election. Doug Delane says, I think Bernie's going to take Idaho. I think so too. So let's dip into the oil situation. Hold on, coming back. Here we go. This is from CNN Business. This is from today. Why Russia and Vladimir Putin are waging an oil war with America. So this is interesting because if Trump is Russia's, bitch or whatever, if Trump is under control of Vladimir Putin, why is Putin creating an oil war? Why is Putin like screwing over the entire oil market and screwing over the U.S. and their fracking business? Why? This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Vladimir Putin knows America's fragile oil industry is built on a mountain of debt, so when Saudi Arabia called for production cuts to mitigate oversupply, Putin decided to pounce. Russia shocked the world last week by blowing up its shaky alliance with OPEC. Moscow's refusal to join with the cartel is aimed in part at drowning U.S. shale oil companies that rely on higher prices in a sea of cheap crude. Putin's goal is to wrest market share back from American frackers. Yeah, it sounds like a Trump puppet. Trump sounds like a Putin puppet to me. I mean, they sound like they're in league with each other. If you still think that is true. Whose debt-fueled growth caused Russia to lose its title in 2018 as the world's largest oil producer. This is a response to try to cripple the U.S. shale industry, said Matt Smith, director of commodity research at energy research firm Clipper Data. Oil 26%, its worst day since 1991, to a 4-year low of $31.13 a barrel. Crude is now so cheap that many U.S. shale companies will be forced to cut production. Bankruptcy fears are already rippling through the oil patch, sending the SPDR and S&P oil and gas ETF to its lowest price on record going back to 2006. Youch. Shares of major oil companies like ExxonMobil and Chevron, whose business models were built to withstand cheap crude, plunged 12%. Exploration and production companies got clobbered. Pioneer Natural Resources down 37%, and debt-ridden Occidental Petroleum losing 52%. Oh my. The energy meltdown threatens to cause a repeat of the 2014-16 oil crash that bankrupted dozens of American oil and gas companies and caused hundreds of thousands of layoffs. Although the industry survived, the experience proved to be very painful. Russia sees U.S. shale as particularly vulnerable at the moment, said Ryan Fitzmaurice, energy strategist at Rabobank, or Robber Baron Bank, however you want to say it. I think that's what it's short for. It is our view that Russia was targeting debt-laden U.S. shale producers. Saudi Arabia retaliated to Russia's gambit by launching a price war. Over the weekend, the kingdom slashed its April official selling prices by $6 to $8 and pledged to dramatically ramp up production, exactly the opposite of what's needed. Ho, ho, ho. Saudi Aramco vowed Tuesday to pump 12.3 million barrels per day in April. Not only is that 27% above recent levels, but would exceed the company's maximum capacity of 300,000 barrels. In other words, Aramco is going all out. There is a staring contest between the Russians and the Saudis, and everybody else is getting caught in the crossfire, said Michael Tran, director of global energy strategy at RBC Capital Markets. It's no secret that Russia and its oil companies have grown impatient with OPEC's efforts to rebalance the oil market. For years, Russia has joined OPEC in cutting production to put a floor beneath oil prices. Yet each production cut forced Russia to cede market share to America's booming energy industry, much to the ire of Russian oil executives. Rosneft, Russia's state-owned oil company, called the OPEC alliance masochism that allowed U.S. shale oil to thrive. By yielding our markets, we remove cheap Arab and Russian oil to clear a place for expensive U.S. shale oil and ensure the effectiveness of its production, a spokesperson for Rosneft said on Sunday, according to state media. Listen, beyond the market share battle, analysts say that Russia could be retaliating for Washington's recent campaign of energy sanctions. penalties made possible by the shale oil revolution. For instance, just 3 weeks ago, the Trump administration announced sanctions against a subsidiary of Rosneft in response for its support of the Maduro regime of Venezuela. Oh my God, if you still think that Russia is a part of the Trump administration or backing them, you're a complete idiot. You are an absolute moron. Russia's strategy seems to be targeting not only U.S. shale companies, but the coercive sanctions policy that American Energy Abundance has enabled. Halima Croft, head of global commodity strategy at RBC Capital Markets, wrote in a note to clients Monday. Croft said that Igor Sechin, the CEO of Rosneft, and coming at us, Russia taking the legs out of the shale industry, Saudi Arabia taking the legs out of the oil markets. I also read that, let me see, is it in here? Saudi Arabia is ready to let the price drop. They're going to flood the world markets with oil, and they're willing to let the price drop to something like $20 a barrel, which would completely destroy the global economy. Like that, it would go beyond. That kind of move would go beyond. Just go beyond the oil markets. It would destroy the entire economy of. I don't know who that wouldn't touch. Excuse me, that's what I was trying to say. That would touch everyone and touch everyone very badly. Caleb Rochester says, "I love the end times." Raza Remen, make the homeless pay taxes. Exactly. TCR Galaxy, lots and lots of idiots and morons waiting to vote Trump 2020 because he gives them easy access to fossil fuels. There's that too. I mean, this is bad news on all levels because Trump is going to, most likely meet the challenge with, escalation. What is he going to do? What else is he going to do? TCR Galaxy, I wish there was a planet B. Oh, if only. Raza Remen, hoard honey. Honey is delicious, and I use quite a bit of honey, and that's a great idea. Maybe I'll go buy a few extra bottles of honey. The Pink Barrio says the fracking industry has been on the financial ropes for years because their business model is to flood supply and then push for the artificial demand. Yeah, and they have been operating at, either a loss or, with little return. It's a completely false and fake market, right? It's all pumped up by investment money. A lot of the companies that originally invested in fracking wells have gone bust or sold their wells to other people. And it's an extremely risky business to be in. Zoxalic's cheap oil is bad for the oligarchy. Oil refineries have to shut down. Yeah, I mean, there's, if the Saudis actually take this further, and you see what the markets are already doing, you see where this is going. This is going on, full scale. Full scale end times, doomsday, economic meltdown, coupled with, coronavirus meltdown, coupled with climate change meltdown, coupled with electoral meltdown. This year could be as weird, and by weird I mean fucked up, Could be as weird as it gets. This year could be really not good. But let's hope. Let's hope that maybe we, kind of pull out of this in the next couple months. Who knows? I know that a lot of y'all are riding for are riding for Mad Max, but me, myself, and I am not really ready to go there yet. Still battles to fight and possibly battles to win. Fiesta Cranberry, I missed the beginning. What happened? Not much. We're talking about various and sundry. Went from Coachella, coronavirus, Italy locking its entire country down. Caleb Rochester, that sums it up. Everything is fucked. Jennifer Elizabeth, anyone else vegan food prepping in Mylar bags while listening to this? I'm not, but that sounds like a damn good idea. Scott Andrews says, I'm trying to, let's put that off for as long as possible because it's going to be real hard and real ugly. I mean, let's hope. Let's hope that things kind of equalize in the next few months. Let's hope that China and Italy, other countries, start getting this under control. Let's hope it kind of fades out, and we can return to some kind of normalcy. Let's hope. I don't know. But if this continues to get worse, this oil thing in and of itself could be something that could wipe out almost everything. I mean, because if the global economy crashes, it's going to be all over. It's going to be game over. I mean, we've been putting off a crash for many years. It's been coming. When the crash comes, it's not going to be good times for a lot of people. So let me I was thinking the other day about the somebody was saying that the Western libertarian, liberal Western free market response to coronavirus wasn't very good. Generally wasn't very good because it relies on, everything is about profit and maintaining the status quo, right? So a lot of companies' profit margins are so small, the oil business being one of them, right? That any kind of fluctuation in the market or any kind of like major catastrophe can send, stocks reeling, businesses plummeting. It's bad for business, right? So the free market is insisting that everything's just like Trump saying like, everything's fine, no need to panic. Don't, let's not do anything crazy because he's trying to appease the free market bottom line. And this is an interesting contrast with how more totalitarian or maybe more stringent societies, countries, economies are dealing with corona. China is dealing with the coronavirus in a logical way, right? They're just breaking out all the stops. They're doing everything that they can. They're locking down the country. To hell with the economy. Like, this is more important, right? They're kind of, they're doing everything they can for the good of the people and to stop the spread of the coronavirus, which is what you should do, which is an interesting, it's just an interesting contrast because, supposedly China is this totalitarian, terrible country to live in. but they, can and are able to have these kinds of overwhelming responses to the problem. They can build a hospital in a week. And somebody mentioned, I think it was on Twitter, they were like, the fact that China can build an entire hospital in a week tells you what can be done about any problem if you just say, yes, let's do this, right? You can end homelessness tomorrow, right? Mike Bloomberg can spend $500 million on a failed election bid. He could have given every person in the United States $1 million and still had money left over. $500 million could have solved so many problems. He could have pushed that money into solving homelessness, and it would have been done. It would have been, homelessness would have been over, right? We can build, China can build a hospital in a week. I actually think that China's response to coronavirus is exactly what the response should be to climate change, right? And only a country like China would be willing to do, to take such a response, right? If they were like, look, we've decided that climate change is a national emergency and we're going to do everything we can, everything economically and societal, sociologically that we can do, and environmentally that we can do to fix and to, stop climate change. And they would be able to do that immediately, while the West would be like, let's have a deep philosophical debate over, whether it's free markets should prevail during climate change, or, or during a fight against climate change, or, is the Green New Deal going to lead us into communism, or, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, the libertarianism sucks in response to the crisis. You need a communal, not just a communal effort. You need a governmental effort that's also communal, right? It's taking in the plight of the people, caring for the health of the people and the health of the country as a whole, right? It may be economically disastrous for China to do this right now, but in the long run, they're going to save themselves a lot of money. They're going to save themselves a lot of damage. What is this, Anthony Davis, China wet markets? What does that mean? I heard somebody say something about that today, and I was like, what you talking about, wet markets? Caleb Rochester, they actually don't care about their own people. Well, why are they doing this then? Why would they do that? Fiesta Cranberry said the hospital collapsed and killed a bunch of people. Did it? Did it really? That's wild if it did. They build buildings that just are made of like drywall and a couple of nails, so. Raza Remen asked, can we weaponize love? I like that question. I'd like to say that the answer would be yes. Human says Occupy and XR are trying to build a community of educating and getting people powered. Exactly. But, see, those kinds of, really, is that true? Jesus Christ. Aaron C says, no, that was a hotel that collapsed. It was a hotel that was housing people that were quarantined. Got it. I remember now. So, and this is why Human, to go back to your point, why Occupy was stomped out, because it was a community. It was a healthy community that was asking, pointed questions about our system and our society. It's why XR is being They're trying to stomp XR out. And why, movements like the progressive movement, Bernie and all of his supporters, while they're absolutely trying to stomp them out and make it look like, oh, they're just not that popular. Bullshit. They're completely, utterly, totally popular. The media has done their part. They've gone on an absolute blitz against the Bernie Sanders movement. They want it stomped out. So, yeah, the hum is here because I plugged my computer in. It's all good. We're going to make it, guys. Philip, yes, yep, that's right. Out of focus, but the sound is great. Okay. Sorry about the out of focus. Yeah, I'm doing my best. Anne DiNapoli says, as each crisis defines reality, the capitalist response looks more insane. And no, that hospital did not collapse. It was a hotel. Yep. Citizen 69 says, Diane says hello. Huh? Okay. $500 million. $500 million. Oh, yeah, you're okay, Caleb. I got it. I got what you're saying. Oh, yeah, math. Ah. He could have given 350 people $1 million. There you go. Thanks, Raza. Anthony Davis says 3 counties in North Texas with confirmed cases of CV-19. And on it goes. Ecotopian Emissary, there is a confirmed case in the town next to mine. And there it goes. There it goes. I was trying to find the story about there was some troops deployed in the U.S. To deal with a coronavirus situation. And I could not find the article, but anyways. Does anybody know about that? Anybody? Yeah, I can't find anything about this troop deployment. Human says the background reminds me of sci-fi movie about the end times. The hum gives it authenticity. Here, I'll take the hum away. Is it gone now? National Guard out in Rochelle, New York. Okay, thank you. New Rochelle. That's what I heard. That's right. New Rochelle. Okay. National Guard to New Rochelle quarantine in New York, but they haven't deployed yet. Thursday, I heard. Okay. Wow. March is warm in New York. This is also something that I've been hearing. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to take off, but I'm going to read some Marty McCorkle before I go. The other one got deleted the other day, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, Marty. But we got a newer entry that's pretty good. This is from March 7th. Says, don't you love this current calm and blissful oblivion prior to the pandemic that will alter America fundamentally? You can cut the calm with a knife. The incomprehension of the crisis is more solid than pound cake. Most people do not grasp that the U.S. will become a fundamentally different culture after this pandemic has its way with us. The pandemic will make the heap of clever memes, articles, and videos aimed at social change seem like a vast waste of time by turning the current American mindset into an endangered species. Once overstuffed hospitals start vomiting patients, pandemic and non-pandemic, the American mindset will begin its journey to reality. Some will die, many will be medically bankrupt, many more will be jobless. What a mess of suffering, all made worse by an incompetent and stupid government. Oh sure, after the smoke clears, the U.S. will return to business as usual. But very soon, the post-pandemic people will be dismissing us pre-pandemic types as bowler hat-wearing, old-timey out-of-touchers. All in a few short years, too. And those future folks are correct. Our culture is a collector's item. The scarred and weary post-pandemic American psyche will heal to something very alien to ours, a cultural landscape we can't yet grasp. Change is in the air and we don't like its smell. Maybe after the pandemic, America will become less insane. Or more, can't tell. Future battle-seasoned post-pandemic people will develop spidey senses for fresh crises on the horizon that get the standard downplay shellac from our the least leaders. Maybe post-pandemic folk will take actions anticipating this little environmental overshoot problem of no livable planet. We'll see if they clue in after this modest pandemic of millions of deaths. But for now, the pandemic tsunami parks itself on the horizon like a wolf, getting ready to dive on us sheep, and most of us can't even understand what we are looking at. It's just a flu, right? It's the sort of cinematic scene of a pending catastrophe that a film director tries to capture and stretch out for half the movie. And this time, it's us in the movie, right now in real time, anticipating the wallop like baby fur seals seeing the club men approaching but not understanding what it means. It's sad, this pandemic, and tragic. Man, oh man, it's exciting to be alive right now. Of course, now the trick is to stay that way. Always good stuff from Marty McCorkle. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Corona zombies, says Oswald Spengler. Zoxalic says the government has to be overthrown. Probably a better idea to do that when they've already collapsed. Raza Redmond says I prefer the globe backdrop. I don't know, man. I may go back to it. I'm just changing things up for a bit. Everybody really likes this rustic thing going on and piano behind me. So I was going with that because everybody was like, I like that. Deacon G 1959 says 12 to 18 months to derivative failure, 10 years to climate failure. You know, you think it's going to take that long? 12 months? I mean, if this oil price war keeps going I don't even think it would take that long. I say 6 months. If they keep going, if they stretch this out into April or May, I mean, we're looking at like summertime collapse. Anthony Davis, you're having some canned air. Enjoy. Goes down smooth, doesn't it? The dude says folksy. Going south. Glad you like the backdrop. Kent deal. The wood tones are nice. Yeah, I'm kind of digging it. I'm kind of liking it for now. We'll see. Zoxalix says China will support Russia. Okay. So just I've got to go, guys. But what's Trump's response to this? If this keeps going, or can he have a response with Russia and Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia being one of our allies, but they seem hell bent on screwing us over good, right? As well. I agree. Zoxalix, I agree. USA fucked up fucking with Russia and not making friends. Well, they yeah, I mean Russia is giving them payback. They implemented some sanctions on Russia, and Russia was like, take that. So there you go. Trump's response is, we need 6G satellites before China. Yeah. I mean, he's flailing. Election will be canceled. Valhalla, you agree with that? What's the over-under on the election being canceled? What's the over-under on Biden falling out of the race? Gaio Smith says your dog's bark has got a deeper tone. Yeah, my dog is kind of big, and when she barks, she can bark kind of. She can make it sound pretty fierce. A jingle here, a jangle here. Irk one. I don't know if I'll do a live feed from behind the piano, but that would be a really good title. That'd be a good series, like Behind the Piano, with Kevin Sandblum. We've got probably good chance, no way, delayed for a bit, not a chance, 30% chance on election canceled. Trump wins election. It's not looking good for the Dems, I'm telling you that. Microsoft Word, 10%. I'll tell you what, so in New Hampshire, Trump got 125,000 votes in the New Hampshire primary as an incumbent. Beating Barack Obama, was it Barack Obama? Had the most incumbent votes before that. He had 80,000. He beat it by 45,000 votes. If you want to know how strong Trump is right now, that should tell you. Oh, Rich Diana, I like that idea. Power the broadcast with a bicycle generator, for sure. I love it. I'm down. I'm game. I got to get a battery because I can't do the broadcast while I'm pedaling, right? I got to pedal, charge up the battery, and then use the battery for, maybe I'll go solar. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I got to take off. Thank you so much for being here. It's been fun. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you know how to do so. See you on the flip.